staff. Wicklow Building Supplies. Serious about service.
Now, I wasn't here for a week recently, and when I was away, everything seemed to happen. That's it. They keep all the good, big decisions for when I'm off on holidays. I missed the former councillors, former councillor Barry Nevin and Councillor Cullen's win in court as regards a planning decision and the subsequent press release in County Wicklow here around Greystones. But also I missed the judgment as regards the big dump in Whitestown. Now, yesterday, Wicklow County Council had a special meeting all about Whitestown, and Councillor Tom Fortune, who's independent councillor, is not very happy the way the meeting went. So good morning to you, Tom.
Good morning, Declan. How are you?
Okay, so just remind us what was at issue here for the meeting, and then you can tell us how it went.
Well, what was at issue was that the High Court made a decision a couple of weeks ago that the site in Whitestown would have to be totally remediated by Wicklow County Council. And that would involve obviously taking all the soil out of it, which hundreds and hundreds of tons. And the estimated costs of it were coming in at anything from 50 million to 70 million to 100 million. And in fact, in reality, I think because of what's there and the ruling and what has to happen, the cost is probably unestimatable in reality. So we had a meeting. I wrote to the I was away on holidays when that decision was taken, and I was back a few days later, and I wrote to the chairman of the council on the 11th of July asking that we would, in light of what's going on, we needed to meet and discuss. And I posed a number of questions about the because the judge did say in his judgment, for example, that the temporary job that was done only in the last 15 months was a botched job at a cost of 3.9 million. So I was
going to ask you about that. You're saying, this soil has to be fixed up. Sure, it was fixed up. They had a meeting and they spent money on it. And
my point was, I was asking who decided this and who paid for it and where the money come from and things like that. So the chairman, to be fair, called a meeting then for yesterday. And to be honest, Declan, and I personally, and I was nearly almost a lone soldier, not quite, but I thought the meeting yesterday was an absolute waste of time. The meeting kicked off with a 4-page document that we were sent by the CEO on the 20th of July. Basically, 3 pages of it talking about the history with what I would and what I'm saying to you this morning is what I believe and what I feel about the whole situation, which is basically the council putting it from their perspective, and then the last page talked about things that had to be done. So I went into the meeting yesterday thinking that we were going to be talking about this massive bill, the impact it has on the county, how it's going to be looked after, who's going to pay for it, the effect it was going to have on services, what management meeting took place among the management in the council, and what did they decide, and can they tell us basically how we're going to look after the county in light of this decision. Because Declan, and I said this at the meeting yesterday, if Wicklow County Council was a private enterprise, it wouldn't survive what's after being decided in the High Court. Now, obviously, what will happen is the government or the department will have to cough up in some way. But by coughing up, that's you and me, the taxpayers, paying for it. That has a knock-on effect on the funding that will be coming to the local authority for all kinds of activities. And I raised those questions yesterday. What disappointed me, and the reason why I was annoyed with yesterday's meeting as well, was as I tried to make my points of what I wanted to contribute to the meeting, the CEO kept cutting across what I was saying and interrupting me. And I said to him later in the meeting, I said, CEO, I don't understand what's going on here. I said I want to protest about it because I'm the only councillor in the chamber that you've interrupted. And I said, I don't understand that. So I made various questions. I talked about the effect it would have on property charges, local authority rents, commercial rates and water charges.
So they've got to come up with a lot of money.
They have.
So what's the budget? Just put it in context for us. What's the budget every year and how much money do they have to spend? The
budget every year, Declan, in the local authority is somewhere around anywhere between 92 and 96 million.
And how much do the council have to pay to clean up the site every year?
Well, they're faced with a bill at the moment estimated could be anything as high as 100 million.
And how long will it take?
Well, this is the interesting point. The court has given the council 6.5 years, 78 months to tidy up the site, and that goes through a whole series of things like appointing a consultant, appointing a contractor, going out for tenders, and then the job itself.
So what you're saying is that it could cost 18 million a year for the next 6 years out of a budget of 92.
No, I'm not quantifying it even like that, because at the moment it's not possible to be that quantitative about it.
But it could be ballpark.
It could be, yeah. I mean, irrespective of what the cost is, Declan, it has a massive impact.
Okay, can we get money from outside?
Well, the likelihood, I would say, is that the money will have to come from the department. So obviously,
what about the people who did the pollution in the first place?
Well, see, this is what's happened. A lot of the people that were involved over the years are gone out of existence or gone into liquidation. So Wicklow County Council has to pick up
they dead?
The total bill.
Have they emigrated?
No, I don't think they have.
So they dissolved the building. Does that mean that they said they dumped whoever these people were? They dumped all this stuff in. It has to be done, and then they just liquidate the company and they get off scot-free.
No, well, I don't know if that's the case. I mean, Wicklow County Council themselves were dumping in it as well, and that was established in court. But
find out who dumped in the council. Then did they have permission to dump in the
bottom
council?
line? The bottom line, Declan, is that the High Court of this country has made an order that Wicklow County Council have to remediate this site in full. Now, that's the decision as we are dealing with right now. That has serious cost implications, and it has potentially a serious knock-on effect for the services we can offer in Wicklow County.
Okay, and much money do we give out to Leitrim and Roscommon and Cavan and all that from the property charge?
Oh, it's somewhere around 2.5-3 million.
Okay, so there's a saving anyway. You don't give it to them anymore.
But then Declan, you know something? If you and I were in running the system, we might do it that way. But if you give me an hour, I'll explain to you the complicated way the system works. So that isn't the answer either.
So did you get any answers yesterday?
No. There's a lot of questions that I've asked.
Who can give you an answer?
Well, I think the executive of Wicklow County Council is duty bound. And I mean, okay, I'm talking to you about it here this morning.
But they must come up with a plan. They must say, okay, we have this bill, it could be 100 million, maybe.
No, but what they have to do now is they have to put a plan together now following the ruling from the court. But, I mean, the whole idea yesterday was to discuss, basically the implications for the county around all this. And I mean, if you're running you take Wicklow County Council as an organisation. It's as big as most enterprises in this country. So therefore, you know, whoever's running that organisation has to have their finger on the pulse.
Well, was there a statement on it from Wicklow County Council of how they're going to do this job and get the money for it?
No.
At all?
No.
Have they made a comment on
there's a lot
how they're going to... Are they reviewing the situation?
No, the tenure of the meeting yesterday was that, and this is very, very important, the 4-page mail or letter that the CEO sent out on the 20th of July was read to the meeting. There was a legal document that they got from a man called Martin Hayden, senior counsel. We were told that because of that we couldn't discuss the thing on a broad basis. But can I just read something that's relevant, Declan, in that, because it just puts in context what you're asking.
Yeah. Finishing up, yeah.
In the document from the senior counsel, it says, therefore, the existence of an appeal of itself will not ultimately preclude any entitlement or right, for that matter, of the elected members to discuss the decisions. The consideration of the purpose of the special meeting must commence with the fundamental proposition that we live in a democratic society which provides for elected members at both national and local level. It goes on then to say, any meeting and any discussion and consideration of judgments inculpatory or otherwise of the council must start with the general constitutional role. Understandably and quite properly, the elected members have requested a meeting, therefore, to discuss the recent decisions. Now,
so basically you're saying you're kept in the dark.
Yeah, and I said to the meeting, at the end of the meeting, that I said, Chairman, I've come down to this meeting here today. I had a lot of important things I could have been doing. And I said, as far as I'm concerned, this meeting today has been a waste of time. And it was a waste of time. Okay,
well, we'll see what Pat Fitzgerald had to say about that. It's his view.
Okay.
All right, but just one last thing. When this stuff is taken out, 1.4 million tonnes of waste. They can call it illegal waste because it was in the wrong place, but it is waste. Where's it going to go?
That hasn't been decided.
It has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
To take it out of some out of Wicklow and put it somewhere else. So somebody else is going to be.
That hasn't been decided. We haven't been told where it's going to go.
Will they have to rent a place?
I'm
is
sure.
That more money?
No. I think under the judgment, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to have or find or locate a licensed area that they can put it into.
More money. Okay. Independent Councillor Tom Fortune. Thanks. 087 77 11 103. We're going to meet some women who are making a difference in the county with their businesses, but how